Dennis Rader is one of society's best-known serial killers. For over 20 years in Wichita, Kansas, he killed many people, turning their lives into a nightmare. However, Rader's identity remained a secret for a long time, and he became one of the police's #1 wanted men. This video will describe the life, murders, and capture of Dennis Rader, also known as the BTK killer, and discuss how twisted people like him can be caught and what measures can be taken to protect people's safety. Dennis Rader was born in 1945 and led an ordinary life in his youth. However, some of the violence he suffered as a child had a negative impact on him, and his behavior began to change. Rader became a man with perverse fantasies, especially about women, and these thoughts became central to his life. Over the years, his perverted thoughts influenced Rader's life and his murders. While Rader lived a normal life, usually that of an office worker, he was full of dark thoughts and perverted fantasies. He committed his first murder in 1974 and committed many more in the following years.
When BTK came forward, everybody's life changed. He would see a woman walking and he would say, "She's next."
After he became known as the BTK killer, he planned many murders and carried out some of them. He tortured some of his victims and strangled others to death. Rader managed to evade the police for many years, and instead of confessing to his crimes, he sent letters to the authorities praising himself.
This guy tells him to look in the city library, tells him a very specific place, go to the engineering section, in fact tells him the shelf and the book to look for.
However, in 2004, while sending another letter, he made a computer error and the authorities managed to catch him. DNA testing and computer technology have played an important role in solving murder cases, and these technologies were used in Rader's capture. Rader's capture not only led to the discovery of his murders, but also helped solve other murder cases. Rader was found guilty of 10 murders, as well as other crimes, and sentenced to life in prison. BTK, or the Bind, Torture, Kill killer, was one of the most notorious serial killers in American history. Over the course of 17 years, from 1974 to 1991, he murdered 10 people in Kansas. Despite sending numerous letters to the media and police, taunting them with details of his crimes, BTK managed to evade capture for decades. It wasn't until 2004, when BTK sent a floppy disk to the Wichita police, that he was finally caught. The disk contained metadata that was traced back to a computer at the Christ Lutheran Church, where BTK was a member. The police were then able to obtain a DNA sample from BTK's daughter, which confirmed that he was the KE.
You will find a homicide.
So when you heard this, did it sound like your father?
You can hear like that clip way my father could talk.
How would you describe your childhood with your father?
I pretty much had the American dream, you know, like the 3-bedroom ranch with the big backyard and the Springer Spaniel dog. And then when I was 4, he built a massive tree house for my brother and I. It was extremely out of the characteristic of my father to be physically abusive.
He would often stalk them for weeks before attacking, breaking into their homes and binding them before subjecting them to unspeakable acts of violence. BTK's crimes were so heinous and shocking that they shook the small community of Wichita to its core. His capture was a relief to many, but it also raised questions about how such a seemingly normal person could be capable of such brutality. BTK's case has been studied by criminologists and psychologists who continue to try and understand what drives people to commit such heinous acts. The BTK case is a cautionary tale about the dangers of assuming that we truly know the people around us. It reminds us that evil can lurk in the most unexpected places, and that we must always be vigilant and aware of the warning signs. The legacy of BTK's crimes continues to be felt today, as we try to come to terms with the fact that a seemingly normal person could commit such unspeakable acts. BTK's crimes were not just acts of violence, but also acts of psychological manipulation. He is currently serving his sentence in a maximum security prison in Kansas. The legacy of BTK's crimes continues to be felt in the Wichita community and beyond. The case has been the subject of numerous books, documentaries, and even a TV series. The victims' families continue to grapple with the trauma and loss caused by BTK's actions.
And saw my mother on the bed, my father on the floor. My heart just got ripped out of my chest. my life changed instantly.
And the case has sparked ongoing discussions about the nature of evil and the criminal mind. In the end, the story of the BTK killer serves as a stark reminder that evil can exist in anyone, regardless of how normal or upstanding they may appear on the surface. It is a chilling reminder that we can never truly know what goes on behind closed doors or in the minds of those around us. And while justice was served in the case of BTK, the legacy of his crimes continues to haunt us, challenging our understanding of what it means to be human.
BTK came forward. Everybody's life changed. He would see a woman walking and he would say, "She's next."